Good evening. So this is Debarshi Kundu, and today I'm going to start something that I have not done before. So this is going to be my first vlog, and if you can see the chairs behind me, I am currently in the University of Texas at Dallas. I attend school here, and it's a pretty nice university. I'm not gonna lie. I major in computer science, and so far it's been a pretty great experience. So currently I take different classes. I take the intro classes, Introduction to Engineering and Computer Science, and I take Introduction to Computer Science and Software Engineering. I'm gonna be honest, those courses are super boring. I mean, like, they are so fucking boring. Yeah, please excuse my language, but yeah, they're extremely boring. Um, they have almost nothing to do with computer science. It's like create your own resume. The best way to study is this, or something like that. It's like really, really dumb stuff that technically we should already know. But this is stuff that people don't really put into play, not just at school, but in their career. So this is stuff that they have implemented in these important but albeit boring classes that don't really interest people. But I will say this, it's an easy A, so who's to complain? Then I also have general chemistry. At first, I was doing really, really well in general chemistry. My first grade was a 100 on the first test. My second grade was not too shabby. It was a 82.4. And I'm trying to maintain all A averages. So, yeah, an 82.4 doesn't cut it for me. My third grade, I really wanted an A on this, but I've been so busy with one test, one project after another, that I actually haven't I haven't been able to organize my time very efficiently. I need to work on that. That is one of my flaws. I'm not very well organized, and I didn't do so well on this test either. In fact, I would think, even though my grade hasn't come out for this yet, I think that I got a C, or maybe even worse on this. The good news is, though, there are going to be 4 exams, and there's going to be a 5th final exam. And that final exam is said to be really easy, and if this third one can be my lowest score, my final exam will replace the lowest score. And so potentially, I can still get an A or A plus. That's still, it's not out of the picture yet. Um, and so, yeah. I also take CS 1337, which is Computer Science 1. I actually didn't have to take this class. I have AP credit, but I chose to take this class for 2 reasons. I am actually thinking about transferring out of UT Dallas, more on that later, but also because even though I've done C++ in the past, I am not exactly super fluent in C++. Java has always been like my main language, and as such, I decided to get a refresher on C++ concepts that I do know, and learn more about C++ concepts that I don't know. I don't want to be stuck in an upper level CS class dealing with C++ and not know a lot of the basic data structures and how they're implemented in C++. That would be very sad, and that would hurt me grade-wise. Plus, I've got an A plus in that class. Like I'm talking about, like, right now, I have 400 points, and I have 399 out of those 400 possible points. So that's great. Um, Let me think. What other classes do I have? I have Oh, I have ROTC. Yes, so every Thursday, I have to go from UT Dallas, which isn't really fun, to UT Arlington, which with traffic is like 1 hour or so, and it's extremely boring. And 1 hour to, and then 1 hour from, and we spend like almost an entire day doing lab and whatnot. This is the one class I'm extremely worried about. Most of you who know me know that I've had dreams about being in the military in the past, but also I have had emotional struggles. I have faced many conflicts in my life, and a lot would argue that I'm just not military material, and I don't want to think this. I want to think that this is one of my dreams. I want to serve in the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a very noble thing to do, and I just want to get my service done. Plus, I kind of need the money for school, so well, yeah. But with ADHD and Asperger's and all, these are obstacles that I face. Right now in ROTC, I'm actually the laughing joke. Like, it's funny, everyone knows my name. And that's not a good thing. I didn't do anything super great, but literally everyone knows my name because I've made silly mistakes. Like right now, I have like facial hair and whatnot. It's okay right now because I'm not wearing uniform, but there are times I forget to shave, and when you're in uniform and you haven't shaved, that's not good. You're out of Army's dress code, and that's a very big thing that they take into account. And physical training is I've improved a lot. So when I initially started physical training for the Army, I could only do 33 push-ups, 33 sit-ups, and I had a 21-minute 2 mile. I improved in two events. The push-ups I got up to 43, which is passing. You need 42 to pass, so I got 43. The sit-ups, these by the way, push-ups and sit-ups are out of 2 minutes. The sit-ups I was close to passing, but I didn't pass. 48 out of 53 sit-ups. And then I also the major struggle that I'm having right now is that 2 mile run. I do not have a lot of endurance, and that 2 mile run is really killing me. I got a 25 22, the 25 22 25 minutes 22 seconds last time I did the 2 mile run, which is really pathetic. In fact, I need to get my time down to 15:54. Not saying it's not possible, it's been done before, but yeah. And I think one of the things that my sergeant, or well, my cadet sergeant who is in charge of me, said was that he doesn't think I'm putting the full effort in the run. He thinks I can do it, but I just don't like it. To be honest, running has never been my thing, and I think that he might have a certain truth to what he's saying. But I know that this is something that I'm going to have to face if I want to be in the Army. I mean, you got to do things you don't like. I guess it's kind of hard being a laughingstock in ROTC because you feel like when I'm in every other class, I feel just like everyone else. In fact, sometimes I even feel like I'm a different guy, asking the questions, asking um, asking interesting questions. But when I'm in ROTC, I have like so many different questions, and a lot of them, I won't lie, are somewhat irrelevant. But in other classes, sometimes these irrelevant questions are encouraged. Like in my CS 1337 class, I could my professor could be talking about um, arrays, and I could ask like okay, I don't know, that's a terrible example, but I could be talking about operating systems and how they implement these data structures and whatnot. Or well, actually, that's like my professor was once talking about pointers, and I was wondering how that applied to computer science in general. And my professor mentioned that one of the things I wanted to do was I want to create operating systems when I grow up, or at least that's what I want to do as part of my PhD research and whatnot. And my professor said that you're going to need to know a lot of pointers and a lot about pointers. And well, that in his class, it's kind of encouraged to ask questions. Now, if I am if I'm asking something super irrelevant, he'll say, "Come talk to me after class, and I'll explain this to you later." But he still encourages you to ask the question. In the army, it's really different. You don't have much time. You have to be focused on your task. And sometimes I really question whether or not the army specifically is for me. I I mean, I want to be a soldier, don't get me wrong, but I feel like I'm also someone who's very into math and science, and I want to implement those skills to solving crime, to solving life issues, to solving problems in computer science, to, well, anything and everything. And in the Army and the Marine Corps, it's like your job is secondary. You're first a soldier, and then you're an engineer or whatnot. And well, I obviously do want to be a soldier no matter what, but I want to do things differently. And I've been thinking about the Air Force. They're more technical and whatnot. Um, Air Force has different cyber units, and they're much more into computers. And the Navy too has in fact, I think the Navy hosts its own sort of cryptography challenge or something each year. So that's definitely something I'm interested in. But I I kind of feel like that physically I'm it's not that I'm not built for soldier work or whatnot. I don't know that, but I'm more of the mental guy. I want to be able to use my brains, and I've talked to some people, and I don't know, but they've told me that the army isn't all really about brains and whatnot. It's about physical. I mean, the army does have a cyber unit, but in general, the army is about being a good physical tactical team. And of course, you need brains to do that. But when I say brains, I don't mean it in that way. I mean like using using science and using math to defend ourselves. That's what I mean. Creating new technologies that might culminate in our in the protection of our civilians and whatnot. Yeah, cybersecurity. That's an interesting field that I've looked into. Um, but at the end of the day, I really question whether or not the army itself is really for me. I'm thinking about um, other agencies, other branches of the military. I really want to work for the government at some point in my life. I feel like it is a duty, and I get pleasure out of the fact that I'm helping others. I know I face a lot of obstacles ahead of me, but I must um, I must be strong through this, and I must prevail. At the end of the day, it's not about um, it's not about failing, but it's about learning from what you fail. And I know that I can definitely do a better job at times. And as my cadet sergeant tells me, I do I do one thing right and I do 9 things wrong. But you know, maybe I mess up more than I should, but I feel like it's okay not to be perfect. Anyways, lastly, before I leave, I just wanted to say that I like UT Dallas. It's a great place, but it doesn't really have that big of a social scene. This is a good thing in some ways, and then it's a bad thing in other ways. I mean, I don't know. I feel really bored here for some reason, and I know I've only been here for less than a few months, and to a certain extent, I'm biased because I've even before coming here, I wanted to get out of Texas. I mean, I got into UCSD, and that was my primary place that I wanted to go. But well, I couldn't go there at the time. But now I really want to transfer. I mean, I I've enjoyed some of the friends that I've made here, and it's it's been a really nice experience. But I also, for some reason, I feel very alone, like extremely alone. Sometimes really depressed and upset, and that's not the for the institution to blame. That's not for me to blame the institution at all. It's not that. But for some reason, I just feel like I don't click with this institution. It's not that you hate the institution, that I hate the institution, but it's that I feel like I have some differences with it. And one of the things that people always say is like, oh, UTDCS, it's really good and whatnot. And it is. It's a great CS department. I'm not going to deny that whatsoever. It's ranked 70th on U.S. News and World Ranking, which is actually a pretty good ranking out of like 800 different schools that U.S. News ranks. But and it's relatively cheap for that ranking too. But I've realized some things throughout being here, and that is the fact that UTD is very focused on industry. Like, no joke. We have people from State Farm, from Verizon, from different different companies coming to UTD very often. Um, and I also think that UTD is primarily a graduate institution, but and as such, it lacks some of the undergraduate coursework the extra undergraduate coursework you might find at different institutions elsewhere. That said, it's still got all of the basic requirements for CS, and it even has some nice courses in artificial intelligence on the upper level side, and automata and machine learning. I just, for some reason, find myself wanting more. I don't know why. I feel like I want more math. I want I want um I want something different. Maybe something a little bit more eclectic that combines diverse fields but uses computer science as well. And then I also want to get out of Texas. For some reason, Texas really bothers me. I've been here for so long, and there are so many bad memories I have in Texas. It's so hot here. I just want to leave it all behind and go explore things. So, I have decided that I would like to try transferring. I want to try to transfer next year, and if I don't get in next year, I'd like to try to transfer the year after to my main choice is Cornell University, but I'd also like to try transferring to Columbia University, and if I don't make it into either of those two, worst case, UT Austin. UT Austin is a great school, don't get me wrong, but I kind of want to get out of Texas. Like, it's really hot down here, and I want to explore things and see New York. I want to see maybe even Cali, you know. But Berkeley's transfer acceptance rate isn't. It's really more favorable towards California community college students. So I'm not a Cali resident, so I kind of want to go to New York then. But yeah, so it really isn't. A lot of people have been saying, you know, it's you're not giving UTD a chance and whatnot. But it's not. It's honestly not that. I just can't find myself to click. I've tried, and I don't hate the institution. I've made a few friends along the way, but there honestly isn't much of the same social life that you would have at other institutions. I mean, fraternities are somewhat geared towards more volunteer stuff and stuff around campus than they are to social events, though that does exist. I mean, I'm not saying the social scene at UTD is totally non-existent. No, but I'll give it this: it's a very, very motivated campus. It's kind of like it has two segments. There's one segment which is extremely segment of the population which is extremely motivated, that wants to study, that wants to get good grades and whatnot, and wants to pursue higher aspirations. Then there's this other segment which, you know, plays video games all day and does stuff like that. That's, well, basically my roommate. But and I like my roommate, I really do. But that's one thing I just don't click with my roommate on, because like I'm not a video gamer. I'm someone who's interested in education and whatnot. That said, my roommate's a really great guy. I like him. He's a really nice guy too. In fact, he lends me his refrigerator to keep stuff in, and he offers me his ramen when I'm really hungry. Which, by the way, the food, not just here but at any university, is awful. Like, awful. Don't be expecting some 5-course meal when you go to college. It's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, what's the plan now? I've been trying to get all A's. This is something I've been trying to do, but it seems like I feel like I am gonna mess up somewhere and maybe get a B or maybe an A minus. Which, by the way, at UTD and some other institutions, an A minus is equivalent to about a 3.6 GPA. So you might say, hey, game over. That's it. You're done. You don't have a 4.0, you can't make it into Cornell and Columbia. That's actually a stereotype. I am definitely aiming for a 4.0. That is my goal. It is not something that I don't want. But another thing that we have to do is we have to put things in perspective. Does it necessarily mean that if I don't get a 4.0 GPA that I'm not going to make it into some of these schools? I've met people who say, hey, get a 4.0, you'll make it in. That's not true. There are a lot of 4.0 students who are denied in lieu of other students. And then I talked to an advisor at Cornell, and she was telling me that anything above a 3.5 is actually really good. This wasn't for engineering, though. This was for the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. So my plan is that for Cornell, I want to go into a specific major called information science. And Cornell information science is pretty interesting because it combines my interests in computer science with other interests in science, scientific fields, and the humanities and whatnot. And College of Agriculture and Life Sciences is a great place to study this. CALS also has a higher acceptance rate than the College of Engineering, which accepts very few transfers, and the College of Arts and Sciences. I'm considering a computer science major at either the College of Engineering or the College of Arts and Sciences, but I am really interested in this information science major because it gives me flexibility. I'm able to take CS courses, but I'm also able to take other courses in math, science, and other fields, and I'm able to dabble into other things. One of the things that I would like to do definitely, though, I am a computer science nerd. This is like my thing. I live and breathe computer science. There is a lot of people call information science the path for CS majors who want to drop out of CS and just get an easy way through with little math. That's not necessarily true. It's true that for those people who want that option, it's available to them. But if you look at Cornell's site, information science actually has 3 tracks in the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. There is a human-centered systems track, which has a lot to do with society and whatnot, and there is information systems or whatnot track. That's essentially a computer science track, which has a lot of computer science courses. And there is another track, I forget what it is, but yeah, there are 3 tracks. I'm interested in taking that computer science-based track. I'm interested in taking a lot of the same courses that other computer science majors take, but I want to take it with other courses too. And I really want to apply computer science to solving problems in intuitive ways. I feel that the information science major gives me a lot of leeway in that. I don't think it's a way of saying, oh hey, computer science has a lot of math, so now I can just take information science and I don't have to take all that math. That's not my intention. I want to take all of that math. I want to take a lot of math courses. That's what I want to do. You're not, as an information science major though, I have the freedom to choose other courses besides just computer science and math. I have I can integrate other fields into my major, and that's what I really like about it. It offers me a lot of flexibility. Um, so yeah, that's really all I have to say. Um, Other than that, this has been my first vlog, and I'll definitely be making more soon. And yeah, sayonara. Good night.